Now you're listening into Paul's Unscripted podcast. So I think let's introduce ourselves first because this is our
Yes.
first time doing the podcast. So yeah,
Ever.
My name is Roger. I'm from Malaysia, Perak.
Guys, I'm Seaton Stoffels. I know everyone calls me Seaton. I'm all the way from South Africa, Cape Town. Yeah.
For how many years, man? We've been like best friend.
Oh my god, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't even know. I think we met in 2010 maybe, or just before 2010, somewhere around there, I think.
I think it was 2009. I think it's kind of
So I think it's like 10 years.
yeah,
It's gonna
10
be our
years
10-year
going to
anniversary.
11 years. Damn.
It doesn't feel that long, honestly.
Yeah. I'm like,
feel old.
It felt like we knew each other like since forever.
It feels like we've known each other since kindergarten, but also feels like we've known each other since like last year.
Yeah.
That's the thing with like international friendships.
Yeah.
Over long distance friendships, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But do you want to introduce the topic for today?
All right, sure. Okay, the topic of today is new culture or / culture shock. We both came from foreign country, and then
Yeah.
our parents migrated to Kuwait,
Mhm.
and then we kind of
Yeah.
followed their footsteps, and we flew together with them and stayed there for me. I stayed there for 8 years. I don't know about you. You probably stayed there for a shorter amount of time, right?
Yeah, you were there much longer than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which year did you get there? Which year did you move to Kuwait?
I was like standard 5, or I think that was around 2008, something like that. 2008, 7.
So a few years before. Which grade were you? Which grade?
Yeah, I was year 6, I think.
And I came year 8. So just 2 years before me.
Year 8.
Yeah. Remember at Cambridge?
So yeah, it's kind of 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, Cambridge was something.
Yeah. That was a really...
It doesn't mean like Cambridge from the UK. I mean like the Cambridge actually the school name.
Yeah,
the school's name is Cambridge
Just to
English
let you guys
School.
know, we didn't go to the elite Cambridge Academy in London or wherever it is. We actually went to a school that was an English international school in Kuwait called Cambridge. So that's where we actually met for the first time in grade 8.
It was kind of weird, dude, because I mean like when you first arrived, I was like, who's this new kid? Because you were the new kid on the block, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I was.
And he was so friendly with the gals.
Oh,
And I was like-
and people hated me for it. And that's like one of the topics we can get into about the whole culture thing. I was like besties with all the gals in the first week already. And for some reason, all the guys were hating on me because they thought I'm just this player that have all these girls around me. And I'm like, I'm literally like, we be talking about our favorite shows or
Yeah.
music or something.
Let's just say that you're kind of a sweet talker, and all the girls like you.
Yeah, I don't know. We won't comment on that.
All right.
But it was it was crazy for me when I came. I mean, obviously everyone knew my dad because my dad was there, a few years, 4 years before I actually came, so they knew I was Mr. Stephen's son. And I
his dad
remember,
is a teacher, though.
yeah, my dad was a
If you
teacher
guys
at the
don't
school
know.
before I actually moved there. But I remember, I can't really remember the first time specifically meeting you, but what I do remember is that you came late during the academic year. You came probably like a month late or something, or a few weeks late. I can't remember.
1 week or 2 weeks late because I had something. I was like some family business to do in Malaysia, and that's why I always like came late.
Ugh, I wish. A longer summer, I wish.
So what was you saying?
But I literally remember by the time you had come already, I'd already I haven't made friends, but I stuck to some people already. So when you came, I didn't really first really take note of you. I remember you being there and stuff, but I can't remember when in the year we actually started becoming friends. I
Yeah.
really can't remember. It could have been halfway through the year, could have been a quarter through the year.
Because I remember that we always like stay in a group, like you, me, Abdullah, Nawaf, and the other boys always stayed together and like chill.
The squad was you, me, Abdullah Nawaf, and Imran.
Imran, oh yeah, Imran.
I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone else. I'm sorry if I am. But obviously, for you coming in 2008, around that time, you said, for you coming to Kuwait for the first time from Malaysia ever, I mean, that was definitely a crazy experience. I mean, for you to be much younger than me, at least I was already, maybe 14, I think I was that time. You must have been at least, 12?
12, yeah. I was like way younger. I mean, like, it was such a culture shock for me because back in Malaysia when I was like 11 and 12, I didn't like speak much of English. And then when I came like to Kuwait, it comes like a huge culture shock that I really need to pick up English like pretty quick because like most of the teachers are from Britain, and their accent though.
Honestly, accents, I swear, accents like the accents we hear on TV and in real life are so different. People don't understand because a lot of the teachers we had were not from like I don't know, like maybe London. They were like from deeper areas in the UK where they had like these really thick British accents. Like even for me, like it was really weird.
Yeah, I mean like even their accent varies, right, from one person to another person.
Yeah, because like Scottish and Ireland people had different accents compared to like people from other places of the UK.
And they speak kind of fast. And then I was like kind of like trying to like cope and understand on what are the things that they're trying to say. And I just like for the first year of my school year in Kuwait, I was kind of one of the like silent kid because I don't really know how to communicate well like in English, but yeah, gradually I picked that up.
So did you not learn English in school in Malaysia?
Yeah, we do, but we don't really practice it like that much because it's like how can I say? It's like you.
Was it more like an extra subject?
It's not an extra subject. It's what do you call it? One of the mandatory subject. But the thing is, in Malaysia, it depends on the kids itself. It depends on how he gonna take the initiative in like speaking English.
Or which school you go to?
The school that I went is a government school, and most of them like right after the English class, straight speak in Malay. They don't really practice like English that much.
And here you were in the situation where you had no choice but to speak English, so you did it completely 360. With at break times, it was only English and everything like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's literally crazy.
Yeah. It was quite a huge shocker because I mean like the school it's a British system school, so it kind of what can you say? The culture within that school is somewhat westernized a bit. And,
a bit only.
Even though there's like a lot of Arab kids, but I think the vibe was kind of like I'm in England or something like that because the teachers are from England. The kid, like surprisingly, the kids over there, they speak like very well, like very proper English. And I was like, whoa, you guys don't have the same trouble as I do.
I think it was actually a mixed bag because I totally obviously relate to what you're talking about because obviously with me, I was speaking English my whole life, and when I went to primary school, I was taught in English. So English wasn't a big problem for me. But the biggest problem for me when it came to language barrier was in break times, I always remember all the Arabic kids would speak in Arabic or something like that. And it was so like isolating because it was so difficult to get to know people. And at that point, I didn't really connect with the foreign kids yet. I didn't know like who was a foreigner or who was from here. And I first made friends with Fawaz.
Okay, I remember that.
I don't even remember. And he was an interesting character, but he was from Kuwait, and a lot of the people I was first hanging out with in like that first few weeks, they were all from the country. And I remember in break time, it was so isolating because I was literally in a conversation with these people and they would be speaking in Arabic. And I'm just there like, yeah. Like it was just like so...
I mean, you kind of feel insulted when they like speak in Arabic because you don't know
what they're saying about you, what they're talking about. It was a weird dynamic, yeah. It was a weird dynamic because
it was.
Yeah, and also at the end of the day,
interesting. Yeah.
We were so young, and all these kids were so young that you're not really gonna make an effort to speak in English because okay, I only talk English or read English when I'm in class. I'm not going to make effort during break time. Break time is when I want to relax and just be with my friends. So they're not going to make that extra effort for that foreign student. And that's why I think most of the foreign students stuck together.
Yeah, probably. Because we have our own like gang.
Yeah.
And we kind of rarely like mix with the local Arab kids.
Yeah.
Because
definitely
they are I mean like it's like they're the one who doesn't like invite us like to like being friendly with us to like have a conversation with us, but that's the reason because we're kind of afraid to initiate because it might like came on as awkward or something like that.
It can, hey. I think it depended on different situations because I found myself in situations where people were friendly and they were willing to get to know me and stuff. But it was that extra effort. It always required a bit of extra effort to really get over that different culture and language barriers. And I guess that you have to understand because if me knowing I'm an English speaker and maybe if I had to say, for example, learn another language like Spanish or something, and I had to basically talk in Spanish every time I wanted to connect with this person. That's effort on my side. So I can kind of see where they're coming from, and they're so young. Why would they want to make that extra effort just to get to know this person when they have other Arabic friends? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But I think we made up like, what would you say, like maybe 10-15% of the schools of the school population, if you want to use the word. Demographic, we made up like foreigners made up 15%. Would you want to say, or it depends on the school?
It depends on how can I say the rank of the school, kind of, because I think that like the higher end like elite international school, I think they have more population of foreign people compared to like in Cambridge.
I don't know if you remember. I think we were definitely more foreign students at KNES than at Cambridge.
Yeah.
If I can remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
KNES, for you guys, was the second school me and Raja actually went together at... Wait, KNES was actually the second school me and Raja... what's the word I'm looking for?
Studied.
I'm getting confused with college. KNES was the second school me and Raja studied at in our high school career. In high school, I went there right after grade 8, so I was only for 1 year at Cambridge and I left. And then Raja came like I think a year or two later.
Yeah.
But KNES was a step up from Cambridge. In certain ways,
it was like way much better. Yeah. I'm like in terms of academics, I think like KNES are far greater when compared to like Cambridge because the quality of the teachers itself are very, very, how can you say it, very focused on the student development. I mean, like we have like a teacher called his name is Mr. Chaco, our favorite teacher. He always like,
woo, shout out Mr. Chaco. That was our OG.
I mean, like he always taught us like valuable life lesson, and it kind of like
he was the best. He was the best.
It helped us grow like to a better man, kind of. Well, I think so.
What other experiences do you remember outside of maybe school that you remember struggling with a lot of like culture shock being in Kuwait and everything?
Yeah, being like first time being in Kuwait is probably the Arabic language itself, because I don't really like take Arabic that serious when I was back in Malaysia. And then when I came here, I don't know why, but I don't like. I I kind of regret it because I don't studied Arabic back in Kuwait, and I stayed there for 8 years, and I don't like know how to speak their language. But
I know that it sucks, hey? Like, it's, people always ask me, do I know Arabic?
yeah, I mean, like, oh, it's such a shame, and then people like go like, oh, it's such a shame you didn't learn Arabic. You've been living there for 8 years. Oh my God, I was like,
Fuck you, bitch.
I can't even think of one word that I know. I think I know one word, but I'm not going to say it because I think it's a really bad word.
oh my God, but yeah, things happen because I mean, like the school that we went to are mostly like very English centric, and then there's no how can I say, there's no window of opportunity of us speaking like Arabic, or we weren't forced to speak Arabic. It's a school policy when the students are in class, they should speak in English and not Arabic. Yeah. And the kids usually speak Arabic when they're in like the recess time.
I think also we had, for the foreign students, it was different for learning Arabic over there was different for foreign students and for students. Actually, no, I'm lying. It was different for English speaking foreign students. We had something called ESF, was it maybe called? I think English for foreign learning students or something like that.
Yeah, like it's like TESOL.
And then we had so we had English for foreign. We had Arabic. What am I saying? No.
Arabic
so
for
basically,
foreign student.
yeah. Thank you for correcting me, my dumbass. We had Arabic for foreign learning students. So that was like for people like us who never spoke Arabic before. And that was like a little like, for example, in South Africa, we learn Afrikaans as a second language, depending on which school or which part of the country. So it was something like that. It was more like a second language. And then we also learned French. Yeah, we learned French also. We learned French.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did.
Oh wow.
We learned French at... Bro, we learned French at Cambridge also. And at
I know
KNS. Don't you
that,
remember?
but I didn't know you like studied French when you were in South Africa.
No, not in South Africa.
Oh, okay. Well, back in
Over there I'm
Cambridge,
talking about.
we studied French.
Yeah,
so
we had
can
French.
speak
Ask me to name a French word. I can't do focal. I can't do
You
anything.
can speak a little bit of French, you know. Ça va?
Bonjour.
Or
S'il vous plaît.
That's so not French. It's like bonjour, ça va?
Bonjour. Anyways, but so we had that as like a second learning thing, and then the Arabic students. Now, this doesn't only mean the people from the country. This could be people from Lebanon, people from Egypt, basically Arabic-speaking people. They had to learn that as like a subject. So yeah, like you said, we weren't forced to learn it. It was very chill. Our teacher was always making jokes in the class, and it was just a really chill environment. And we learned like, oh my God, Raja, do you remember writing in Arabic? Oh my God, that was one of the most difficult things ever.
I mean, like it's not that hard for me because I
Come on. No, okay, what can you write? What can you write? Oh yeah, that's true. So you have some, but you have.
Yeah, so
But can you write in Arabic? Can you write anything?
In Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know the alphabet.
Oh, so you know the alphabet?
Yeah, because I'll
That was a very long Took some time to answer.
No, I mean like I grew up going to a religion class. So basically, back in Malaysia, we have this religion right after the morning school in the evening.
I remember that.
What?
You still had like religion classes,
class?
it was almost like an Arabic class because you would learn Arabic also there, just to understand the Quran, right?
Yeah. Yep. So it wasn't that hard for me. It's probably because of
and that's like a whole nother topic. Just that.
Yeah, I mean like
I feel like that
compared to Malaysia, like the how can you say the way that like I study in Kuwait, and then the way that I study in Malaysia, I think Malaysia have higher quality because in terms of like religious study, such as like in Malaysia we call pendidikan Islam. So basically, I think that it is more in depth. Like in Kuwait, their religious study, it's not that they try and take it easy, but they don't go like that much in depth in terms of like studying the Quran itself. Kind of weird though, because like it should be like even more in depth because I'm in the Arab country. But,
You would think, yeah.
But the school was like a British school, so yeah, you kind of understand it. No wonder, right?
Yeah, but but that sucks sometimes that we come back to our countries and they're like, say something Arabic, and we're like, yeah, about that.
I think like the
I remember my sister.
the fastest
My
word
sister would-
we can understand is probably the swear word. I'm like the fastest fastest word that we picked up from the kids.
That's all the things we were taught in the playground areas.
Yeah, what about your sister?
Now I was gonna say when we came back to South Africa, she would act like she knew Arabic, and she would be like, "Oh, I can speak Arabic," and then all she knew was like, "Hi, hello, how are you?" or something like that. You know, you always get those people that are like, "Oh, I speak 4 languages, but like I don't speak them fluently," and then they can only like say 5 words.
I just know a few words. Oh my god. Just tell her to say Assalamualaikum. Everybody gonna be like, oh my god, oh you know
Assalamualaikum.
You know how to speak Arabic. Oh. It's like a basic word of Arabic. So yeah, and one of the experience that I always like, it's not much of a culture shock for me. Actually, it's a culture shock for people around me. That's when I was remember in break we always the Arabic kids always buy the food from the tuck shop, right? The junky.
Oh, I know where this is going.
The disgusting like junky food from like the tuck shop, and the food are kind of like very very unhealthy.
Basically, like just to understand what basically to understand what our tuck shops or lunchtime shops cafeteria area looked like during break time, we got served like pizza and like Hardee's meals. If you guys know that restaurant, Pizza Hut, like the most craziest things that you would ever hear from a school, you could find there.
Yeah, I'm like it's the most unhealthy food varieties that are like present
in school. It was so unhealthy. Oh my god. But yeah, so you were saying in lunchtime?
Since like the first time that I came to Cambridge and KNS, I always bring like my food from home, and these Arabic kids are so freaking annoying. Well, I bring my noodles because I don't think so they know what noodle is, because so basically I bring like mihon goreng, fried noodle, like rice noodle. So when I go to school, they would be like, "Oh, what are you eating? Is that worm?" And I was like,
"Oh shit, here we go again."
I'm like, it's fried noodle. Do you want to try? Oh, and then their reaction would be like, I don't want to try, and then they would go away, and I was like, fine, I just eat my like food alone. I was kind of a lonely kid because I don't find like a lot of friends when I was like in my first year when like came to Cambridge.
And I think the biggest the thing about that was that you were bringing your home cooked meals that has a lot of significant culture. And I think that was very weird for those kids to see, because they used to one thing and they see this kid with some Asian dish with lots of vegetables and noodles, and they're like, what the hell? And they probably smelled like they never smelled it before.
Yeah.
And they were like, ew.
But sometimes there's I still remember, I'm not sure if it was Fawaz or Abdul Nawaf. He kind of asked me like, what are you eating? And I say like, it's those fried rice, and then there's a few like meat and like chicken and all that stuff, and then he tasted, and then he was like, tastes good, okay. Bring for me like one tomorrow. And I was like, okay, you're the first one.
All you have to do is just taste it, and then you forget about how it looks or anything like that. But
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't look that bad. I'm like, it looks like edible. It looks okay.
yeah, but I mean, to them, it looked like weird, probably.
Yeah, because they all probably because of they never got exposed to the like Asian cuisine, like cuisine from the Southeast Asia.
Yeah. But I even remember like my first time eating food from your country, from your home, like going to your house for the first time and eating food from your house. It was very. I was
that.
actually like quite. That was like a culture shock moment for me, because I remember you had so many like
A culture shock for your taste buds.
for my taste buds, but it wasn't only about the food. I even remember when I came to your house for the first time. I can't even remember when it was. I think it was probably for a sleepover or something. And one of the first things that took me back was I came into your house with shoes, and then you were like, Seaton, what are you doing? And I was like, wait, what did I do? What did I do wrong?
Shoes outside.
And it was like, we don't wear shoes in our house. But it was like this big no-no. I was so confused because I've been wearing shoes in our house for my entire life. It wasn't a big deal. But you were like, it's disgusting. Da, 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 da. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was like so weird for me, but I did it anyway, and I was on my socks.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, I don't know if it was in that moment or later on, you kind of explained to me why you guys don't wear shoes now. And I had to do a lot with, I can't remember if it was to do with not only obviously trying to be more hygienic, because you obviously do walk outside with your shoes, and you had actually inside slippers that you would wear in the house. But also, I think it was to do with, because in your tradition, I'm not sure, I might get this wrong, but sometimes you guys do sit on the floor a lot. Sometimes when you eat and stuff, right? So, that's why like you guys don't really like shoes in the house. But I came over, and I think probably had lunch. I remember it was like a lunchtime. Firstly, there was so much food. There was so much food.
I mean, like my mom always
guys,
cooks a lot.
when his mom cooks, it's like a 5-course meal. Firstly, it's a 5-course meal. There's more than one dish always. So I was like taking it back. I was like, okay, there's a lot of food. Met your mom was very friendly, and we sat down to eat, and there was all these different dishes. And I just remember I was so scared to try because I couldn't even tell what it was. Like I was like, is this a vegetable? Is this a fish? A chicken? What is this? But then 10 years later, Malaysian food is like my favorite food ever. And it's because of that one day where I sat down at your house being culture shocked and eating this weird food, and now it's like my fave.
Yeah, I still remember that you had that spicy. I think it was spicy chicken curry or chicken sambal. So basically, it was like ayam.
I can't remember. I just remember it was something spicy, something veggies, a lot of rice. And I even remember your mom was like watching me while I was eating, just to be like, so how's the food?
Because you kind of
nice.
like, I mean, like, it's interesting for her, like looking at a foreign kid eating her own home cooked Malaysian food. I mean, like, it's probably her first time like serving like foreign person like eating their like local food. And then I remember your face.
Oh my god! I just remembered.
Your face went red when you ate.
I just remembered. I actually remember the first time I came to your house. I just remember it now. It wasn't a sleepover. It was actually, we came, I think it was like a Thursday after school. We came back to your place. And we were supposed to meet. We were going to come. You told your mom, me and Imran were going to come over. And I think we were going to like have lunch there or something. And that was the first time. I remember.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was.
But I remember your face turned red and you like sweating like crazy because of the sambal was so spicy for him.
Yeah. Oh my god, guys! Some of the heat, my body could not handle that level of heat yet. I had to work my way up.
And then I ran to the kitchen and grabbed some like vanilla ice cream.
Got me ice cream. It barely helped in the beginning, but.
Eventually
it at least cooled my mouth
down. Yeah.
No, but that was a crazy experience also, like something as simple as just going over to your friend's house for a meal, but because it's two different completely cultures, it was like it was so weird.
Yeah. I mean, like when I came to your house. I think
Years later.
like back when we were in like KNES. I mean, like
that was like grade
your mom's
11.
school are like pretty simple. I mean, like it's very westernized like food. There weren't a lot of like spices. There was just like fried chicken, if I'm not mistaken, fried chicken and fried rice, or like some
I can't remember
kind of like
which
corn
which
or
day.
something like that.
All I remember, I think it could have been a Sunday you came over, or it was wasn't it on my birthday, maybe the day after my birthday that you were there.
I think it
that
was
you slept
before.
Over. Yeah, you did come before. I think you had like a Sunday meal, a regular colored South African Sunday meal, and our classic Sunday meal is always your roasted chicken, your roasted potatoes, your rice with some veggies, and like a corn, like sometimes like a cream of corn situation. Depends on the Sunday. Sometimes we might do something extra. But
Simply said, it's very healthy compared to Malaysian food.
Is it?
I don't know. I
Maybe.
think so. Because it's very like clean.
I mean, you guys do have a lot of oils and stuff.
Yeah. We do.
Yeah,
a lot.
it is on the cleaner side.
Yeah. Unlike Malaysian food, we always put like coconut milk, and then some coconut oil. Depends on the food, and then like some palm oil and stuff like that.
I must say, like, because one of the best things that I feel like I really had the privilege to experience the Malaysian culture, not only through you, but obviously because I also lived there for like a year and a half. I got to experience more culture and more food. And I must say, the Malaysians do love their oil, like a lot. Like everything is so oily. Like, oh my God, my skin was not
at its
loving
best
during that time. Not at its best.
Like breaking out.
But my taste buds were in heaven. Guys, I'm telling you, like, if I just start to think about the food in Malaysia, if you guys want to ever do your favor, go look up Malaysian food, or try and find a Malaysian restaurant wherever you are. It probably won't be as good as the real thing.
Yeah.
But oh my God, my mouth is salivating right now just thinking about it. It really is amazing cuisine.
I mean, like he always like stayed within the like Subang and KL area, so he doesn't like explore. You don't explore more like of like the rural Malaysian side. I think you only came to Pangkor, the island that I brought you when you came to Setiawan.
But I feel like I actually had a more authentic experience just being in your home. In your home in Kuwait already. I had a more authentic experience because I was in the home of a authentic Malaysian family that was from, like you said, just a regular town, and I was seeing their culture, the things you wore, your daily traditions, your food, and all these things. So when I lived in Malaysia, it was actually I got to see a different side of Malaysia, the more city life, you could say. Where some things were a bit more westernized.
Yeah, true. I mean, like people in the city, especially in KL, they are very somewhat like a bit westernized when compared to people within the rural area, because you can say like because they're like people in the city are more like liberal, and people in the rural area is a bit more conservative.
Like with every country, usually it's like that. But you live where? How far away from KL do you live? Because I remember I had to take like a 4-hour bus ride to you last time when I came to your town.
Yeah, I live in Perak, Setiawan. It's like a 3.5 hour ride by car, and
from KL.
From KL from KL to Setiawan, and a 4-hour bus ride.
So when I lived in Kuala Lumpur, I lived in an area called Subang Jaya, if I remember, which was kind of not too much in the city, but it was like in the KL area. And I went one holiday. It was like for a weekend, I think. I went down to your town, and that was also very interesting. It was again, I got to experience that authentic Malaysia, but more not just in your apartment. I got to then see your town and the people in your town and the different markets, and we went to an island for one day, and it was very cool. But by then, I think I was so in the culture that wasn't culture shock for me anymore. It was smooth. Everything I was seeing and learning, I wasn't taken aback by the things that I was seeing.
You kind of assimilate to it.
Yeah, and ABC.
Yeah.
I still think about it till today.
Seriously? Dude, I mean, you could do it by like your own.
Can you please describe for the people what ABC is? Because I sound like an idiot puppy here. You're saying ABC.
ABC is ais batu kacang. So ais batu kacang, ice actually is ice, which is ice. Ais batu means rock, kacang means like nuts, and then its literal translation is ice rock nut, which is weird. So basically, it's you can't say it's a dessert or it's a drink. I mean, like Malaysian people it's a drink. Like ABC, it's a form of a drink, but it consists of ice shaving, and then they put rose water, they put concentrated milk, evaporated milk, and then a few bits of coloring, like food coloring, green and yellow, if I'm not mistaken. And they also put like grass jelly, corn, and then kidney bean, red bean, and all that like good stuff. And and it tastes super sweet.
Anyone, if a South African had to listen to what you were saying now, they'd be like, what the fuck? Basically, like you said, it's all these things combined. It's almost like, I would say, like a snow cone, like a slushy vibe. Not really a slushy is very more liquid. But it's like that shaved ice, like you said, with the concentrated milk. We call it condensed milk. Jelly, the grass jelly you were talking about, it's basically jelly. It's basically jelly. And then it does have corn in it. And I know the corn sounds very weird. Like, what the hell is corn doing in a dessert? But trust me, it works. Like, it sounds so weird, but it works. It's so good.
I'm like, you guys need to come down to Malaysia and like taste Malaysian food, because it's a whole new world.
Honestly, I'm planning my second trip or my third trip by now.
Yeah.
But how do you think because I think we are one of the most unlikely people to be friends, people would think, probably, because you're like a guy from Southeast Asia, Malaysia, a small little town. I'm all the way from South Africa, Cape Town, and we're such close friends that we connect past all these differences. We are still able to connect as human beings. And like, what do you think? In your opinion, what do you think? How did that happen? And what makes it work? That we got through this, that huge cultural barrier.
Probably because of the difference that we have in each other, and the willingness of like learning each other culture itself. I mean, like, without that, I don't think you would get interested and would get to know like other people's culture. And you probably, if you weren't like that curious, you probably wouldn't come to my house. It kind of like, yeah, people would say it's so weird because our personality are at a very like each end of a spectrum. Because,
the spectrum.
Yeah, because I was one of those studious kid, and then you were one of those like carefree like kid, and then I don't know what
I was
happened.
basically the carefree clown in the class.
Yeah, but we always like click together. I mean, like, we always like understand each other. It's probably because of like we were one of the minorities in school, and then we were the foreign kids.
Yeah.
So like one of the way for us to like be together are just like chilling out and talking in class and all that stuff.
And I think when like we were basically, like you're right, we were both outcasts, and because we were on the outskirts, we saw each other and we became friends, and we knew we were the only ones we had. So we made that extra effort to get to know each other, pass our different cultures, and and we made it work. And I think that's definitely one of the solutions that people, if you come from different backgrounds and you're trying to, I don't know, like make friends in a new city, in a new place, you really just have to get past your own cultural barriers and your own way of thinking, and be open to understanding people and their different ways.
Yeah, true. The reason why people are scared of like people from other cultures because of the fear of the unknown, because they don't know what they're like expecting or what they're getting from like the culture of other people. So yeah, it's probably because of that. Once you get past that and you just try and try to understand and put your shoes in their place, I mean, like you probably going to be more empathy toward the people with like different cultures. Yeah.
And I think also focusing on like what you have, what your similarities are more than what your differences are. I think that also makes a huge difference, because I think like for me and you, especially when we were in high school, the things that we had in common was that we would always love playing basketball, badminton, video games, and talking about, I don't know, like just the normal things kids were going through in high school and stuff like that. Those are the things we connected on, and I think we focused more on that instead of what was so different, like how different we looked and how different we spoke, and how different religion backgrounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
And I think even the religion background was a huge factor, because the religion also affects a lot in the way you carry yourself and the way you interact with other people.
Yeah.
And I really can't think of a situation where both of us were in, where we were ever in a fight or in some kind of confrontation regarding religion.
We rarely
or confrontation.
do that, man.
But I think it was because we never brought it up.
Yeah, but I mean, like we spoke about our religion and the differences between like Christianity and Islam. Like from that, we probably know like where your stand is, like from your like religious background. So probably because you can understand people more when you like speak to them about these like deep topics. Because not a lot of people will like, have a conversation on these things.
And I think we never really, because something so funny, I've had these situations with other Muslim people in Kuwait, but not with you, where you would have a conversation about religion, and immediately there was an aggression or some kind of come to my side kind of mentality. But both of us, we never had that. We never spoke about stuff like that, about your religion sucks or you, and we were so young, and while everyone was talking like that, we never spoke about why do you do that, or our religion is better, like we were actually quite mature for our age now that I think about it.
I still remember that one Arabic kid said to you that, "Oh, you're going to hell," and I was like, "What? Why did you say that?"
I literally just remember that. Now I remember we were in class, and I can't remember what we were doing, but the teacher was not in the class, and we were talking about something, and this kid literally told me, "Oh no, you're going to hell because you're Christian," and I can't really remember what I was feeling in the moment. But I knew I wasn't feeling like, oh my God, like I am going to hell or like my religion's bad. I more so felt again like an outcast, because not that these kids were agreeing with him, but they weren't disagreeing with him essentially, because most people were Muslim. Also, again, most people that in Kuwait are Muslim, even the foreigners, because a lot of foreigners are from Muslim countries. So most people are Muslim. So as a Christian, you feel even more like a minority, because you feel like, okay, well, at least these other foreigners like you from Malaysia being Muslim, you can at least connect with these people on a religious level, but I can't even do that. So there was that also. So it's like a different mixture of things. It was very, very difficult.
Even amongst themselves, even amongst the Arabic people, they also have like a divide. It's not a religious divide because they have the Sunni and Shia right over there.
I remember
so,
that. Yes.
So the Shia people will always be like kind of become the black sheep of the Muslim people because of
The
their
Muslim
practice,
community.
because of the difference of their practice are far like very greatly when compared to Sunni. So yeah, it kind of comes from their own arrogance itself because they don't really understand people's perspective. You can have that view, but come on, don't be like so rude and like to like a non-Muslim that, oh, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that they would like be that say the same thing to the teachers, like to the teachers that were taught us. They were just being a bully in simple terms.
Yeah. And I think they were just like they were just reiterating also what they were taught, but it just in a just more aggressive way. But with all that being said, I do feel like that's what we stand for. We stand for being open-minded and not being ignorant and not letting things like simple things like different what would you say? What would you call the different spheres? Like you said, there's Shia and there's this. So different spheres.
Yeah, different
within
spheres of
anything,
religion.
within religion, within culture, those just blocking yourself and putting yourself in a category and saying we're not mixing with that category. We stand on that and we say you can be from whatever country, from whatever religion, from any language, whatever age, whatever, and you can still get along. We are proof of that.
Yeah, you just need to put your arrogance aside and like try to be empathetic towards each other.
And just open.
Yeah,
Be open.
And there's a lot of things you could learn from people from other culture. It's gonna open your eyes. I mean, like you're probably going to be
It's
less
literally-
racist when you know
Definitely.
when you know like the culture of other people.
And it's almost like you said, a whole new world. It literally is a whole new world. When you really take the minute to get to know someone and their culture, you experience so many you see the world literally from a different perspective. And there's so much on the other side waiting to experience. And that's why I'm so passionate about traveling and wanting to just experience different cultures. It's like literally hopping to different universes. And stuff. That's how I can feel sometimes. So yeah, I mean, people just be open-minded, drop their ignorance, put it in the back seat, and don't be afraid. People are so quick. Some people don't even want to mix with people from different social groups if you are on a lower class, or people don't want to mix with people from a different race. And it's so crazy to see because you're really limiting your pool of not only friendships, experiences, all these different things.
Yeah, true. You just even though you're in the different, even though you were brought out a different way from compared to other people, the key is, I always say, the key is empathy. I mean, like you just need to understand like where the other people's stance are. From that point on, you can know where you should stand your ground, and you can like come in the middle. Like you can discuss things more openly without having this prior how can you say, prior intention of saying, oh, your culture is wrong, my culture is right.
Yeah, I think people are too obsessed with always being right.
Yeah, true.
They're living their lives right. They have the right religion or whatever the case may be. And that's what you need to get over. You need to get over that you're not always in the right. And I think that's what we stand for. That's what we want to really get into depth with the next few episodes of this podcast, is just talking about our different experiences of the world, coming from such different backgrounds and meeting in the middle. And we just want to share our stories and chat about our different perspectives on topics of that range from uni life to adulthood to marriage to sex to dating to everything. We have so many different perspectives, but somehow we always meet in the middle and understand each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, let's conclude. Are we going to conclude?
So yeah, we're kind of reaching to the end of our podcast. So let's conclude our podcast by saying that don't be an a-hole. Try to understand people with other culture. If you open your eyes to the world, even in Islam, God create other people from different races so you can learn from them. So the thing is being empathetic and being eager to understand like other people's culture. From that point on, you can bridge the gap that divide us like culturally and become more empathetic and understanding toward each other. Yeah.